Call this meeting, the Oskaloosa City Council to order. Today is Monday, November 17th, 2025. We start with the invocation from St. Mary's Catholic Church.
Please bow your heads. Father, we come before you today to give you honor and praise. You are worthy of praise. You are the source of all that is good. You are the source of all of our blessings. Thank you for every gift that you have given us. We thank you for the opportunity to come and gather together this day. Thank you for every seat that has been filled here. Thank you for calling us to serve your people of the city of Oskaloosa. For each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room, we thank you. We ask you for your hand of blessing on this meeting. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents, abilities, and time to work. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning, every project, every season, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. We ask that you would guide and direct our meeting so that it is full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. We ask for your guidance and strength. Show us the way and fill us with courage and wisdom. Help us to remember your love and grace and to be faithful to your servants. Give us the patience and understanding to face life's challenges with grace. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
To join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ross,
Here.
Hardison,
Here.
Holmberg, Ibrahim,
Here.
Ocean,
Here.
Allman,
Here.
Caligari.
Yep. Okay, thank you. First item up is the opportunity for community comments. This item is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're included on the current agenda. The community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council. Asked to keep statements brief, time limited to 3 minutes. Any questions are to be asked of the city staff, the council members, or the mayor prior to speaking to the full council, so concerns can be properly researched and perhaps answered away from the meeting. Comments are to be directed to the mayor and city council only. And I would also mention at this time that to ensure a productive meeting and all voices heard, we ask that any side conversations be kept to a minimum. Thank you for helping us to maintain a quiet atmosphere so everybody in the meeting can hear and follow the discussion. So we start with Angela Foster.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. I'm here on behalf of Oskaloosa Main Street. I handed out everyone, I think, a map that looks kind of like this. We have a special guest coming to town on Thursday. Debbie Durham is coming for a visit. She's going to be visiting Centerville in the morning and then coming to Oskaloosa in the afternoon. She wants to look at what our two recent challenge grant locations are happening and doing. So on my board, I have Brian Knutson with the county. He developed this wonderful map for me. It shows the 8 challenge grants that Oskaloosa Main Street has received, along with the facade projects that we worked with the city. So thank you for partnering with that. I think this makes a big impact for Debbie to look at. And then I also have this little sheet that has all of our holiday events on them. This weekend on Saturday, we have Turn on the Lights. Would love to see you out there. Horse rides will start at 5 p.m. We have some food trucks. We have cookies and cocoa and popcorn. And then we'll also have the horse rides, and then we will be turning the lights on at 6 p.m. So hopefully you can make it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And moving on with the agenda, next up is the consent agenda. These are items that are all routine in nature. They are typically handled by one vote. The things I wanted to call out to the council is that Item D is a resolution scheduling a public hearing on December 15 to consider levying a special assessment against private property for weed cutting. On item F is a resolution approving tax increment finance asking for next year. I would like to pull that off and have a separate vote on it. And then item G is to consider an ordinance to add chapter 10.77. This is the alternate enforcement action to the Oskaloosa Municipal Code. This is the third reading. Since the first two readings were unanimous, it gets put on the consent agenda. And so with that, do I have a motion of support for everything except item F?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hermsen,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Next up is a resolution approving the tax increment finance asking for fiscal year 2027. Do I have a motion of support for it?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ibrahim, sorry.
Were we going to discuss, or?
I was
since this
asking
is
any
full?
discussion.
Yeah, it was fast. I just got to the wrong one. Yeah, I wanted a little explanation. There's 3 attachments, sorry. I have eye surgery tomorrow morning, so I'm like a little, eyes are not functioning as fast as they should be. There's a long list of the tax increments. I think it's on the 3rd document. Does someone want to explain what all that means? It dates back to 1989.
I could do it, but staff wanted you, because you work with it more
I just
than
wanted to
I do.
understand it. I'm not,
So these are tied to different development agreements and grants that the council has approved over the years. Most of them do go over several different years, so we're
Okay, right.
continuing to issue these out over
Okay.
several years.
Okay, so that,
So such as the one for Ironwoods, that is a 15-year grant. This will, in 27, we'll make our 10th payment.
okay,
And then for Gateway 2, which is Trio, we'll do our first payment in 27.
okay, okay. So this was the, just wanted to clarify,
Sure.
this was the resolution approving the 2nd document, and then it has the long list.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So what this does is this approves all the TIF that we're asking for reimbursement in fiscal 27.
Okay.
We have that to the county auditor by December 1st, so that
Okay.
we can compute values.
Okay. Like I said, well, I just saw lots of repetition.
Yeah.
That sort of sends a red flag. I don't know where, I've never seen that many whereas
Oh,
in a
yeah.
memo ever.
So-
And I'm a historian, so I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
That's all I needed, so thank
Okay.
you, Mayor.
Um,
I want to vote on something blindly.
yeah, yeah. Okay, roll call, please.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Abstain.
Hermsen,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us into the regular agenda. First up is to consider resolution, make sure I get on the right page here. Consider a resolution levying a special assessment against private property for cutting and removal of weeds by the city of Oskaloosa. This is done under chapter 8.20 of the city code. And there are, let's see, we've got a public hearing involved with this. The weed properties are in Exhibit A. One of them has been pulled off, as I understand, the top one.
yeah, correct, 110 North 4th has been paid in full.
Okay. Certified notices were sent out to each property owner. Notice was published in the Oskaloosa Herald. And if approved, the property owner has 30 days from the time of filing with the Mahaska County Treasurer to pay for the weed cutting in the city clerk's office. After 30 days, it's assessed to their property taxes and a payment schedule at 9% interest. And so I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this?
Can you hear me good?
Yep. Name and address, please.
Wayne Miller,
Okay.
19624 Plymouth Avenue, Sigourney, Iowa. I'm here concerning, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. Appreciate that. I'm here for location 921 North E Street.
Okay.
I would like to begin to clarify that Rental Rebuild did not own this property at the time that all these mowings happened. So, and that the cities has rented against us, and we officially acquired the property September 22nd, 2025. So, and assuming full responsibility for its upkeep, including mowing that's currently going on. This property was in distressed condition when we purchased it. So our mission at Rental Rebuild is to revitalize the property and transform them into a safe and modern and affordable homes. And we take pride in what we do. So in the housing inventory in Oskaloosa, especially at the time when the city is experiencing such a growing demand for requirements to have new housing and strengthen the job market. We are not disputing the city provides services to this property prior to our ownership. Rather, we respectfully request a reduction in the assessed fees to help us allocate more of our budget towards quality finishes and improvements and the benefits of future residents in the surrounding neighborhood. So, since acquiring the property, we have remained in full compliance with all permitting requirements and have maintained open communication with the city inspector to assure the work aligns with the city standards and expectations. So, we are to be partners in progress. Our goal is to work collaboratively with the city of Oskaloosa to improve the community. So, thank you for your time.
Okay.
Is there any questions?
Do we?
Yep, fire away.
So you purchased the property, correct? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when I've purchased a property, several of them, you have to wait a while to see if there's any liens outstanding. And that, are you saying did this sort of fall between the cracks on that, or?
This happened when it was owned by other people.
Right.
So it was owned by the bank and everybody else. And so this is the first reading we've actually been able to come to. And there's been 2 other ones that have been allocated against us.
And no one made you aware that there was a previous, so do you feel like it just fell between the
It may have been our fault for not doing a better job of researching it. We did do a background check, but we never came across it.
Yeah.
So, but this one, I can be good.
And
So,
I think the realtor and all that, they're supposed to advise you of that, but they didn't even tell me where my property line was in this town, so it was a little loose.
Any other questions?
The question I have to Wayne's point, according to the agenda item, the property is mowed on August 22nd, but it looks like you closed on the property on September 15th.
or was it 15th or 22nd?
Or,
Yeah, it was September 22nd. Well, we may have closed, but
yeah.
the final documents was September.
So in that situation, I'm just asking procedurally, why would the charge not have gone to Nation Star Mortgage instead of? Because,
I can answer that.
yeah,
The charge originally did go to Nation Star Mortgage.
okay,
When the public hearing was scheduled for this assessment, that's when we found that the property had changed hands, because we
Okay.
double checked those ones before we sent out the notices.
okay.
So the property changed hands
September.
before,
After.
or after August 22nd?
After.
Correct, and we go by Mahaska County GIS, which doesn't update as quick as the documents are filed.
And so the 3 charges, this is because it hadn't been paid, or were there 3 times it was levied?
Never got it.
Just, okay. So the original was $250.
Yeah, there was 3 mowings that were transitioned over to us, along with an additional cleanout of the property. It was in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, which I appreciate you buying.
And that's what I'm saying, we're here to try and help out, we're
Yeah.
not here to try and say, you know, we're just leaving in arrears, we're gonna fix it up. So, and the additional $350 tacked on to the mowing, which is $250 because it's the 3rd mowing. So, in my opinion, I think I could mow it cheaper than that.
Yeah.
But I'm just asking for some leniency. Can we do something to
Okay.
help?
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would care to speak? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. I'll go ahead and open it up for a motion from council.
So I would like to separate the rental rebuilds from this.
Okay,
So I move that we have a separate vote on that? Does
Well,
that sound okay, or?
what I would do if I were you is the motion to say, okay, let's do the 4 other properties other than rental.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion that we do the other, either 4 or 5. There's 3.
Four.
Four.
That one's the first.
First one.
Oh, I see. Okay. Get my eyes are. So I make a motion on those 4,
Okay.
excluding rental rebuilds.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion from council?
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I have a fondness for what my husband and I call the Scooby-Doo houses. He's still lamenting this $28,000 property we didn't buy in Grinnell. And we could have done wonders, but I wasn't up to the task. So I appreciate that you are up to the task, okay? Because we do need more of that in this town, so.
So for clarification, pulling the terms for rental rebuild, we're just zeroing that one out.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Roll call.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Calajuri,
Yes.
Strauss,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item B. This has to do with the resolution for the vacation and sale of a 248.5 foot by 66 foot section of South A Street, adjacent to 804 South A Street. And so I'll go ahead and explain the item first and then open up the public hearing. Staff received a street vacate request from Jorge Sanchez, the owner of property located at 804 South A Street, for approximately 148.5 feet by 66 foot South A Street adjacent to his property. Listed the reasoning for the request to purchase the alley is just to buy the front of the property, part of the street to save the woodland portion between Cunningham and South A. Staff conducted a survey of the property owners and the utility companies who have direct access. 3 neighboring property owners were surveyed, 2 responses received. All were unopposed and indicated they'd like to purchase their portion of the alley. Staff noted that if the street is sold and the portion split to the most adjacent property, 804 A Street would only have access to the property through the north-south alley. At the time of writing the memo, 2 utility companies have responded. Both have infrastructure located through this street that would require an access easement for future maintenance of the infrastructure if the street was vacated and sold. Mid-American Energy requested an easement which has significant building restrictions for the property, and that's been attached to this item for reference. So Planning and Zoning Commission considered the request at their meeting on November 5th, recommending vacation and sale by a 6-to-1 vote, contingent on the resolution of the access and easement issues. Staff further discussed the street vacate with adjacent property owners following the commission meeting, suggested that the right-of-way could be sold in a different configuration if there was an agreement between the owners on how to split it, but has not received anything as of the time of the writing. So if council were to vote to approve the vacation without an arrangement in place, staff would be requesting guidance from council on how to proceed. So now's the time for the public hearing on this. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Jorge Sanchez Chavez. I was brought to Oskaloosa about 2 years ago by Moscow Sports Lighting from Taiwan. I was received by Iowa with the nicest, stronger and cold storm in 30 years, which was a great change from Taiwan, beautiful island. I don't know if Taiwan is, Taiwan actually it was called Formosa, which means the beautiful island. It is a beautiful island. It's always warm. So anyway, I got to know a little bit when I was waiting for the taxi over there at the Des Moines Airport. I got to feel like those when your fingers start to get cold enough. And I was like, what's going on? My face started to feel like dry. Only 5 minutes outside. It was almost close to midnight. Anyway, I was blessed to be able to buy this beautiful property. I call it the house of the forest because it's surrounded by forest. So it's surrounded by trees and everything. And then I noticed that my front porch, actually, it goes to a street that doesn't work as a street. And then when some of my colleagues want to visit me or something, they Google and they found, they said, oh, where's your house? I don't see it. And probably you get to see the pictures there because it seems like a yard. It seems like a grass yard instead of a street. So anyway, and then this year, I even had some a doll and a fawn there visiting my yard, and it was cool. So I decided to vacate the whole thing because it was like not in use. But then my neighbor said, well, we want our piece too. Then we found out about this easement, and then we all talked about it, and then we decided that we want to remove our petition to vacate it because there's no point really to have this have an ownership of something you will not really have an ownership at. Therefore, we want to remove our petition, but we want to respectfully ask the city to help us put that little space, which is actually not a big street. It's only 200 foot, I suppose. I don't think you will want to remove that wooden area, because I really like it. It's so beautiful. There's a lot of birds, squirrels, and other beautiful animals over there. And if you remove it, then it will no longer be the house of the forest. So we want to respectfully ask you to please help us put that little piece. I think it's a 200 foot, I suppose, piece of street in service, which we would like you to, if possible, either just put gravel on it so that we can have access or right away, and I could probably just put a mailbox there, a big sign that says 804 South 8th Street, and that way my friends and anyone who uses Google will be able to find me. So yeah, and I also found out that my alley, the only way to get access to it, there's a potential possibility that Cunningham could actually block that alley because they own that part of the property. So I will only have one access, and that won't be fun. So yeah, that's my petition for the city and the mayor and the council. And my neighbors also have something to say. I found out that my neighbor Christina has been living there for more than 15 years. So she knows the story. There was a street before, she said. So thank you very much for
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me speak. I'm Christina. I live at 113 8th Avenue West. I moved in as a rental owned by Adam Sterrett. When my third son was 6 months old, he is almost 16 now, so we've been there a long time. I actually bought the residence from Adam. When I moved in, there was a gravel road there. I have maintained and mowed that section for this whole time until Mickey moved in, and then he kind of helped because there was an older lady that lived down the hill from us where Mickey currently lives, and she could not mow. Other than, I agree with George to pull the petition to leave it as is. I have never had an issue. The city does use it when they bring in their tree service. That is where they park their trucks when they are doing that side of town. Mickey and I have never had an issue. We've always shared maintaining it and everything like that. So.
Sorry.
Yep. We do use it every once in a while to access that side of our property. So putting gravel down would help in the sense that it does rain and it does get muddy. But other than that, I don't really have anything to say. I do think with the utilities running through there, that there may possibly be a gas leak in there. We do smell it when the wind is blowing our direction. I've had Mid-American out there twice and they have yet to locate it, but we have noticed recently there's a dead patch of grass, so I'm waiting for the wind to switch again so I can smell it, so I can call them, because I don't have a reason to call them without smelling it. That's what they've requested of me, so I don't want to be like, yeah, I think you have a gas leak, but I can't smell it. But any questions for me?
Thank you.
I have it.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
No,
Joe.
you're fine. So for 804 and 113 and 201, are you here tonight too? Okay, so house 804 and 113, how do you get to your house? Down the alley?
Yeah, down the alley.
Down the alley in 201? No.
It's
behind
Oh,
805,
okay.
yeah.
I see that, okay. Yeah, I got other questions, but I'll wait.
Okay. Okay. Yes, sir.
201 8th Avenue West. I agree with both of them about not buying the land, but I'm okay with changing it to an actual road or alleyway that we can all use together.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to speak tonight? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have first off, let's have a motion regarding the resolution for vacation and sale to people who don't want to buy it.
I guess I'll make a motion to not vacate the right of way.
Second.
Okay, there's a second. Okay, discussion.
Yeah, we need to build a road.
Yeah.
So it was gravel. I used to live just right around the corner, and I work at Mid-America. So that was gravelled at one time in
Yes.
between. Okay, yeah, because we have main that runs all up through there. That's
And what
And like I said, the tree service people have parked there, and they bring in huge trucks, and there's some other companies parked there in the past also, but it used to be gravel, and it's like slowly grown into grass, but if you stand on it, you can see
tell
the
it's gravel. Okay,
gravel.
I guess I never realized it was gravel in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Across the street, I drove out there yesterday. I could not find, I saw the sign, but I didn't see no street. And I was kind of confused. Is this agenda wrong or something? So anyways, I see A Avenue also goes south of 8th.
Yes.
Was that, to your recollection, was that also gravel back in the day?
Yes,
And-
and people still park there to this day. The older couple that lives in that house, they have help coming in because I think he's on hospice. One of them's on hospice because they come in and out. But their nurses and stuff park there.
Yeah,
Just looking on the other side, not.
Yeah, right.
not
Roger
on
Brown's house.
the other side of it.
so the frontage of your house,
I think that used to take you to the car wash, didn't it? Just about the
So-
side of the car wash.
Behind Casey's.
so the frontage of your house faces that grass road?
The frontage of his house faces the grass road. The frontage of mine faces Casey's.
Do we know why we stopped maintaining it?
I don't know, no idea.
I didn't remember. I looked up. I didn't remember it being gravel.
Yeah,
I don't think that's been a gravel road since I've been here.
yeah.
If it has this overgrown, because I used to live right around the corner too, Sean. I didn't realize it was gravel.
And to be honest, the alleys are a little bit of a mess in this town. I mean, we have one that somebody told me we shared it. I'm like, nobody shares property. And it was an old alley that had trees growing in it, so.
No, I think we need to do something there,
Yeah.
make it a road or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
That's probably another agenda.
It is another
It is
agenda
another
item.
agenda, yeah.
And
'Cause I kn-
probably worth getting into the budget process with
Yeah.
and that sort of
Right.
thing. Yeah.
If it's just restoring it as a gravel road, I don't think that will be too impactful. That I think that I'll talk with my staff about it, but I think that might be something we can take care of without really taking anything larger. If we want it to be something more than a gravel road, then obviously that
Right.
costs a little more.
And then put a sign up, say, Den Ed.
Yeah.
Our house in the forest.
Yeah. So do the utility easements enter into that decision at all as to?
So the utilities, the locations they are basically assuming that if the city were ever to build a road there, they're placed such that they would not be impacted by a road being there.
Okay.
And realistically speaking, if Mid-American wanted to be, they could be more precise about where they're asking for an easement and where they're not, but obviously it's not really relevant at this point. But you would be able to put in this road without impacting what they have there.
Okay. Okay.
Further discussion?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, very good. So we've got the motion, second, discussion.
To deny,
It's
right?
gonna be a
To
nail
deny.
biter here.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Almond,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Okay, that passes to deny. Item C, this is to consider an ordinance rezoning the property at 953 11th Avenue West and 1107 11th Avenue West from the GI Industrial District and R2 General Residential District to LI Limited Industrial District and R2 Planned Use Development General Residential District Planned Unit. Gridco LLC, also Marge LLC, submitted a rezoning application for properties located at 953 11th Avenue West and 1107 11th Avenue West. Application revisits the zoning designations on Musco-owned property between 9th Avenue West and 11th Avenue West and South H Street for Musco facilities and for the proposed Edmondson North subdivision. Planning and Zoning Commission held the public hearing on October 7th, voted to recommend approval on a 9-0 vote. Specific review considerations can be found in the October 7th memo to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So this does require a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this tonight? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion of support for this rezoning?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Abstain.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item D. This is to consider an ordinance rezoning property at 807 North 11th Street and 610 North 10th Street. This is from an R1 suburban residential district to PI, which is Public Institutional District. First Christian Reformed Church at 815 North 11th Street submitted a rezoning application for the two adjoining parcels that are zoned differently from what the church is. They prefer matching the PI zoning on all three parcels to help accommodate a new youth center. Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on October 7th, voting to recommend approval on a 9-0 vote. Any reviews, considerations can be found on the October 7 memo to the P&Z. Do we have a motion of support for this second reading?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item E. This is to consider a resolution approving funding and conditional assignment agreement between Mahaska County YMCA and the City of Oskaloosa. The City of Oskaloosa and Mahaska County YMCA previously entered into a partnership to fund, design, construct, and then operate the Oskaloosa Early Childhood Education and Recreation Center project. The Mahaska County YMCA is not only an operating partner for the project, but also a significant source of funding for the project through their capital fundraising. The city has undertaken a separate project for the completion of the natatorium within the original project plans and specifications that were following the original contractor's termination, and additional funding was necessary to support the completion of the project while the project is subject to litigation. Staff is recommending approval of the resolution. Do we have a motion of support for this?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, I'm just confused because on the other it talks about a charitable contribution and then 7 million. I'm just, Barry isn't here, is he, by chance?
Nope.
I wanted to see if he could explain what the Y is asking for exactly.
And so I think,
I would say, I think this is an agreement that the city has asked the Y, has asked the Y for. It's a joint ask. Sean or Stu?
You moved on.
Also just add on this, I know that the attorneys that wrote this up spent quite a significant time making sure that this was correct because we are in
Litigation,
over
right.
everything. So I do know that a significant time was spent on making sure this was right.
Well, my daughter's in law. I don't completely trust attorneys. Do we need a closed session on this? I don't know what's going on with $7 million.
Okay, so go ahead, Stu.
If you recall, we did have a closed session on this.
The last one.
Okay, so this is that amount.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
This is that amount, this is what Allers wrote.
Okay.
The YMCA's attorney couldn't review it, so they went to their two other attorneys who reviewed it, and then Mary got more approval for his signature. In addition to that, they did some other work on, yeah.
And our city attorney couldn't review it because you're,
I'm the president of the
I'm
board
sorry,
for the
their
Y.
city attorney, the YMCA city attorney.
which is a
Our
little
city attorney.
troublesome. But, okay.
Other conversation, questions?
I think they did a good job
Yeah.
on our behalf, so
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Roll call, please.
Hermson,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
No.
Almond,
Yes.
Halajuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Goes to item F. This is to consider approval of a pay application. It's in the amount of $973,576.98 to Carl A. Nelson Company. They and the city of Oskaloosa entered into a guaranteed minimum price contract on June 26th of 2025. City has received pay application number 4 in the amount as stated for the completion of the natatorium. SVPA, our architects, has reviewed and signed the pay application. Items on the pay app are related to general conditions, concrete pool basin, coating systems, precast, vertical and horizontal building shoring. We'll hear more about that later on in the meeting. And so the breakdown of it is on our agenda. Do we have a motion of support for this payment?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on it? Roll call, please.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Halajuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Hermson,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item G, this is to consider a resolution regarding acceptable terms in connection with the Jefferson Lofts project loan documentation. So on May 5th of 2025, City Council approved a $250,000 loan from Oskaloosa Housing Trust Fund for the $12.7 million Jefferson School Lofts Senior Housing Project. The tax credit investors' legal counsel recently requested revisions to the mortgage documents. This includes adding non-recourse language to the promissory note. The investors' counsel stated that the language is non-negotiable as a requirement from the Internal Revenue Code and the developer's investor to properly allocate tax credits, and without the revision, the project would be financially infeasible. City Attorney Dixon stated the change would remove the city's protection to recover any loan funds if the project fails, and has prepared an attached detailed memo and 3 resolution options for the consideration. I won't read the full memo, but the 3 options that are being considered, number 1 would be to require the promissory note not include the requested non-recourse provision. The second option, authorize staff to proceed with the promissory note, including the requested non-recourse provision. And then item 3, which or option 3, would be to authorize staff to proceed with the promissory note, including the requested non-recourse provision for the period after substantial completion and rehabilitation and construction of the project. We have note here that Investors Council is to be in attendance. Is he here? She? Okay.
They're on the, I'm part of the development team. We have 2 attorneys that are on the
Okay.
Zoom call.
Okay, so that was okay, very good. And so the recommendation is to discuss the request with Investor Council and then decide which option best meets the community needs. As a reminder, this project was eligible for a TIF rebate. Developer chose to do a long-term loan instead as it was more beneficial to the project's financing structure. And so prior concerns about the building do include the lack of other developers or buyers, further deterioration, ongoing impact in the neighborhood, and perhaps future costs to the city if this property were to be abandoned. So I'll turn to the city manager here. How would you like to steer this conversation?
I think it would be good to hear from, I think we've got a person or two that are online and hear from them first.
Okay, that sounds good. If you would, introduce yourself and then please speak.
Hi, everyone. I'm not sure if John Cronin is there in the room.
I'm here, yeah. I can introduce you too. Yeah, thank you. My name is John Cronin. I appreciate your time this evening to consider this. I'm part of the development team for this Jefferson School Lofts, and first of all, I want to thank you for your partnership and the loan that really was very instrumental for making this financially viable. You know, we went into this project and sought this development and sought low-income housing tax credits, which we were awarded. Subsequent, after we were awarded the tax credits, as you may know, when we receive these tax credits, we syndicate them, we sell them basically. But the price of that syndication of those tax credits went down from the time that we applied to the time when we were awarded. And that translated to a financial gap that was problematic. That coupled with the fact that we also were awarded federal home funds, which are beneficial and are good, but they come with a lot of strings to them. And some of those being that there was a significant environmental review and state historic preservation office review, which is all good, except that it's very slow moving.
Yeah.
And when we are awarded tax credits, there's very much of a time. We have to place this in service in a period of time, and it just wasn't going to work out. So we had to decline the federal home funds. So those two things that happened were kind of a financial hit to us, and so we were really pleased. And you guys, we came to you, and you were very responsive, and appreciate that, along with the George Daley Trust and Nebraska County, of filling that gap, which was really vital for it to actually move forward. We're trying to get to the financial closing, which has not yet occurred yet. Even though we've started construction on it, I know that you guys probably are aware of that. But we're just taking a risk. We are paying for that construction ourselves and hope to be reimbursed with the financial closing from the investor. I think that some of the language that I know that you're struggling with, and Jake and John are attorneys for us. There's also attorneys for our investors. So we're the developer, but we have an investor that has their own attorneys and that are really requiring some of this language regarding recourse and non-recourse. One of the things that I want to point out, a couple things about what it means to be recourse or non-recourse. Because it's not, as we are requesting non-recourse, doesn't mean that the city's not protected in their loan. The collateral of the building, of the development that we have will be the collateral for your loan. It just simply means that in the event of a problem, certainly not, there are also carve-outs for any kind of misdeeds or bad acts or anything like that where you could be recourse. But recourse really means about being able to pursue the individual borrowers, individual development team members personally responsible for it. So that's where it comes into an issue, I think, with our investor in particular, and as far as the IRS goes. So I just want to assure you that number one is we're here for the long haul. We're here, the loan that we have here is the compliance period is 15 years for the tax credit investor. But that doesn't mean that North Arrow and North Arrow Development, we're here for the full length of it. And so I also want to point out that in terms of getting your money back, about when that would occur at a time after year 15 when we would re-syndicate and close out some of the mortgage, and we would refinance the project at that time. And so that would be the occasion where the public funds and us as the borrower on the project would be able to pay back the city, the county, IFA has a loan in there as well. So I just want to point those things out. I think John and Jake on the call here, if there was more specific legal, technical aspects of that, can color in some lines there.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, John. I actually think, so my name is Jake. I'm the attorney representing the developers, as John said, and I think he gave you an excellent overview of the difference between a non-recourse loan and a recourse loan and kind of the implication for that here. But I guess I'd just open it up. I'm happy to answer any questions that delve specifically into the legal reason for the request or fill in some of the details on the recourse versus non-recourse.
Okay. Well, I think I'm probably, to me, it's a question that it's an understanding that I don't have, I guess. How does the IRS fit into recourse versus non-recourse language in this loan?
Sure. So the way that the investor that John's referring to, they're essentially putting in, I think, $8.7 million into this project to help fund the construction. And in exchange, over a period of 10 years, they get tax credits. And they sell those tax credits to, an insurance company or a bank, someone with a lot of income. And so in order for them to be allocated the tax credits, they have to be allocated all of the losses that, the investor owns 99.9% of the financial interest in the project. And so over time, as the investor is allocated depreciation and these tax credits, the capital account of the investor is reduced. So every year, let's say the investor gets allocated X amount of tax credits, their capital account, their financial interest in the partnership are reduced by that amount. Once the investor's capital account hits zero, they cannot continue to be allocated tax credits unless they have this concept in the Internal Revenue Code called partnership minimum gain. If they have partnership minimum gain, then they can continue to go below zero up to the amount of partnership minimum gain. Okay. And partnership minimum gain is generated by non-recourse debt. Does that help? Yeah.
That helps. Okay.
Clear as mud.
As much as they can.
As much as they'll go to law school, I suppose.
It's hard even for me to grapple with.
Yeah.
I even had to look it up.
Sean.
I do have a question. With option 2 and 3, the difference being, I guess option 3, I'll just read that. Authorize staff to proceed with a permissionary note, including the requested non-recourse provision for the period after substantial completion and rehab and construction of the project. Can I get the opinion of your group on option 3 versus option 2?
Sure. Option 3 in terms of, well, Jake, you guys laid it out as, but I think that in past conversations there was the perception that there's risk to any lender during the period of construction. That's when there's, things are happening, there's unknown conditions and so forth. So the idea would be that if it was recourse during that period of time, if there was something that should happen, that costs went through the roof, or we missed something significant, or there a problem, that you could be repaid out of recourse. The borrower would be on the hook for that. But once we get past that and the project is complete in terms of its construction, leased up and put into service, that then it would transfer into a non-recourse. That's option 3 as I know. And then option 2, I forget the distinction of that. Maybe Jake, you could talk about what option 2 was.
Yeah, so option 2 was non-recourse from the beginning. Even during construction, it was non-recourse. And really we had proposed option 3 after having some back and forth with David Dixon, the city attorney, and he raised the concerns with it being non-recourse, and we proposed, there's something we could do to soften that a bit, and that's to make it recourse during construction, but then after construction, it has to be non-recourse to generate partnership minimum gain. So honestly, from the city's perspective, I would expect if you're going to pick option 2 or option 3, you would pick option 3.
Twist my arm. I already decided, so I'm just waiting.
Yeah. I knew you'd be interested in knowing how the IRS fit into it.
Well, I had to look up recourse
behalf.
and non-recourse, and exactly what the lawyer was just talking about. He was just, I think he might have had it open, reading exactly what it read.
Okay.
Beauty of ChatGPT.
Just a comment. With option 3, I think, of course, there's some risk.
There is.
We know that even going into that.
Right.
But the alternative too is if the project doesn't go and we have to do, say, demolition of the building, it's a lot worse. My personal opinion is I'm okay with option 3, the risk that we're assuming. But Just want to share my personal thoughts on it.
It's all a risk, so.
Okay. Any other thoughts from council? Any questions?
No
Okay.
more questions.
Okay, John, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's been very helpful.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion from council as to what direction to go?
I'll make a motion for option 3.
A second.
Okay. Any other discussion on it?
What I like about that extra language that Jake or whoever it was that added that in and to soften that up is it gets us what we really wanted in the first place is a completed project. So, you know, I mean, that's ultimately the goal. Please pay us back, but we want the building done. So thanks for working with us through that.
Okay. Other comments? Roll call, please.
Ocean,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Caligiuri,
Yes.
Dross,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Gets us to item H. Is to consider a resolution to adopt the City of Oskaloosa Tax Increment Financing Program policy. State of Iowa is one of 49 states that uses tax increment financing. It's the temporary use of an increase in property tax revenue from a redevelopment area to help pay for the costs of redevelopment. TIF helps stimulate private investment in commercial, residential, and industrial development and redevelopment, and enables investment in public facilities and infrastructure. TIF improves the economic and social environment of a community, it remediates blighting influences, and can sustain a desired balance between non-residential and residential tax burdens. So the proposed TIF policy outlines the goals, requirements, uses, funding types, programs, and application procedures that a developer has to go through to be considered. There are 3 TIF programs. There's a commercial industrial one, the market rate residential, and LMI or blight remediation residential. And so, pros and cons. The policy does give developers and staff and city council clear understanding of how TIF works, how it will be administered, and as a result, it's reasonable to believe that a development agreement would be more likely to be successful than without a detailed policy. A higher success rate would translate into an increase in development projects in the city. The policy does make it easier for the city council to justify incentive offerings, and so it's more equitable, less subjective. Policy doesn't obligate the council to offer TIF for any or all projects that meet or exceed the criteria. Decision to provide TIF incentives is at the sole discretion of the city council and would be determined on a case-by-case basis. Developers will be required to provide justification for incentive requests, and the developer is less likely to waste time and money when requesting TIF funding when they learn up front that the needs are not aligned with city council expectations. On the con side, when a developer sees a maximum incentive, it could increase the likelihood that he would ask for a maximum incentive instead of a lesser amount, and the council could feel more pressure from the public or a developer to provide an incentive that's outlined in the policy. And so we have this resolution before us. Were we going to have any presentations regarding this?
Yes.
Okay.
I brought the big guns with me. We were going to have a meeting anyway. I'm like, can you come to the council meeting and help us out with this? So she put together several different, basically,
We'll call them tools.
Tools to be able to evaluate the different scenarios that we have here, including present value examples. So I think I will just turn it over to Suzanne to walk us through some of those.
Yeah, let's open the commercial calculator. So what I thought would be helpful was to provide a tool in an Excel basis that is kind of what I'm calling a return on investment evaluator for the city. You have a policy, so let's look at the tiers and let's build a tool where you can get a prospective developer proposal and you can put it in Excel and you can see financially what they're asking and what the return on investment and the benefit is to the city as well and weigh them together. So there's 3 tiers for the commercial program. So I created what I would just call a regular TIF cash flow, and this is sort of intended to be a standalone just for the project, right? So it's a standalone TIF cash flow saying just for this one project, what is the TIF revenue generated and what is the rebate proposed based on the tier schedule, and then what is the sort of the cash that would come back to the city through the life cycle of the commercial TIF. And then what I did is I present valued the developer's rebate assuming that there would be some sort of cost of borrowing if there wasn't a rebate. And then I also present valued the cash flow, the TIF revenues for the term of the cash flow that would be available to the city, and present valued that at the rate that you could earn on cash. Those are inputs that can be changed based on over time. It's pretty simple Excel in my world, but I'm here to help whenever there's a proposal on the table. But to walk you through it, Tier 1 is $1 million. For commercial property, the first 150 rolls back at the residential property rollback now, and then the rest is rolled back at 90%. So $1 million in today's world translates to $831,802 of taxable value. Take that divided by 1,000 times the TIF tax rate that's currently $33.46991 cents. And $1 million commercial property is going to generate $27,840 in annual revenue. Right now, commercial TIF, a new property, assuming it would get the full lifespan, a TIF ordinance can go 20 years for commercial property. So we assume the 20-year full time frame for the cash flow. And in Tier 1, the max would be a 5-year, 100% TIF rebate. And so the legal fees, assuming you have to pay attorneys to do the development agreement. So I've got the attorney fees in there, back the attorney fees out of payment number 1. If you scroll down to the bottom, okay, right here. So then $134,000 of the lifespan of this property would go to the rebate, and then off to the right, you'll see there'll be $417,605 that would come to the city over the 20-year life of $1 million property. Now, obviously, over time, things are going to change. This is just based on a certain set of assumptions up front, but it does allow you to evaluate, okay, and on a present value basis, right, because it's a 5-year term, so the present value is pretty close to the value of the cash value. The 20-year term, $404,000, pretty close to the annual payments you're going to receive. So again, 5-year term, 7% PV. I'm not going to get all that. I'll let the people that like finance look at it and the assumptions. But this is just a tool to show you, basically, for $1 million property, how much in present value you're giving away, and how much cash would be going out to a developer versus how much cash would be staying at the city. And so, and then if you go to Tier 2, Tier 1 calculator, the rebate calculator. And then we get into the nuts and bolts and how it's calculated. So not only am I giving you the TIF cash flow, I'm showing you exactly year by year, because obviously over time values are going to change, all the different things. But then there's the calculator here for the nuts and bolts, all the different pieces and parts for Tier 1. And then we can go to Tier 2, and then it's just going to be the longer period of time. Yeah, thank you for the cash flow. $10 million. Longer period of time, it's a 10-year rebate, again, calculating it over time. So it just gives you a tool based on proposals on the table that you can put in real cash flow. You can do the real calculations of what the max would be, and then you can have the discussion. I will say that the residential version has to take in LMI, right? The market rate housing, there has to be LMI. So 38% of any housing you're going to do is going to come back in an LMI pot of money that the city can use anywhere in city limits. It doesn't have to be used in the urban renewal area where the housing is being done, but that's just, again, the calculation of all that in there based on the tiers for the market rate housing. So these are just tools. I suppose I'm the help desk for these tools, so I'm around and easily accessible. I know one other thing that Sean asked me to comment on. I do a lot of TIF work around the state, and what does this policy look like based on a lot of other cities around the state? And I would say, first of all, congratulations on having a policy, because I work in a lot of cities that don't have a policy, and it's just sort of wild, wild west, and whatever you get, you get. And I think that there's definitely, the rating agencies like seeing financial policies, so that's always a credit positive to see something in a formal policy. I also think it tells the world Oskaloosa takes development seriously and you're open for business. I think that's a good thing, and it's positive. And as far as the tiers and the terms, I think they're very realistic. I think $1 million, 5-year, 100% rebate. Personally, I love that there's not a single one in here that's a 20-year, 100% rebate. I don't think it makes any sense for cities to give away everything, because it costs you money to do business. So I'm glad there's no 100% over the full life of it. There are, I would say, there's special projects that we can evaluate on a special basis, but should come with jobs. It should come with something that alters the face of your community, in my opinion. I agree that 100%. I personally like things that aren't 100%, but I'm just less generous as your financial advisor with taxpayer money. But I think it's a good max, and I think the terms make sense to me. I think that the tiers make sense to me, and knowing Oskaloosa like I do, I hope this will bring you some people that are interested. Like I said, it just says to the world we are open for business. I think that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No one introduced you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Other than big guns, which is kind of nice for a woman, I suppose.
I've been around for so long, I forget to introduce myself. I'm Suzanne Gerlach. I'm a partner now at PFM Financial Advisors. I started serving the city of Oskaloosa 19 years ago. I started as a lowly analyst at PFM, so it's been my pleasure I think I've worked with Oskaloosa my whole 19 years at PFM, and I am the city's financial advisor. So I'm here to help with all things debt-related, financial planning, budgeting. We just had a lovely sewer conversation today, so we'll
and if you want your head to spin, you should have been at the water board meeting last
week. When there's newbies, I make you go through the whole cash flow. But that's what we did today. We went through the sewer cash flow in great detail. So, and I also work for the water department. So yes, I do annual budget and planning for the water department.
Yeah, that's a tough crowd over there, isn't it?
Yeah. So is this a tool then that we can,
I gave it to you in Excel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so.
Don't tell anybody.
So then we can plug in what the interest rate is, what the length is, and if we want to mess around.
All in Excel.
Okay.
And highlighted.
Right.
And highlighted, yes. And I put notes, and I tried to make it very user friendly.
And in this policy, it's on a case by case, so then the next case that comes up, we could use this tool and say, these are the criteria.
And you're not waiting for me, right?
Right.
Because there's sometimes I'm not available, or sometimes I'm
But this would
out
give you the
about.
criteria in this
Yes.
case by case policy.
And sometimes in the economic development world, you need to respond quickly. And so rather than waiting for me, I've given you a tool that, you can use.
Oh, that's great.
And it's an easy way for Sean and whoever in City Hall and Pam to, when a developer comes in and says they want $1 million, they're needing $1 million to complete the project. It's an easy way to put the numbers in and understand how long of a term that needs to be, and does that fit in the policy, or do you need to make an exception, or could you go shorter, and all those things, because there's a lot of math.
And if they need $1 million for the rebate, what's the valuation need to be to get there?
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So it gives you the tool and you can reverse, and I'll give you the model, the calculations for how to reverse it the other way, because I do that all the time. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
I got to ask, how long did it take to come up with that? From the time of concept, we've got this bright idea, until the time of actually having.
Well, the hard part was getting me to sit down and have uninterrupted modeling time. So I pulled some pieces and parts, and I would say all of the modeling to get it set up, once I had it set up, and it was pretty easy to reiterate, but it took me a few hours. It took me probably 4 hours to get, from the time I could just sit down, model.
That's impressive.
I do this a lot. I do it a lot. It's honestly getting the time to have closed door, no one knocked on my door, phone's not ringing, which happens at 5:30 in the evening, not during. So uninterrupted time, I whipped it out in about 4 hours. But.
Okay, very cool. Thank you very much for
You're welcome. Yeah.
So do we have a motion? Yeah, motion of support for this TIF policy.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on it?
I just wanted to ask, when we talk about blight area, that we do have the coal mining here, and I would like the future council members to pay particular attention to that. That was just in today's paper about Atomwa having difficulties with their water supply. And I do historic work on coal mining and have an essay coming out. So it has long-term consequences. Coal mining does. So be careful. Don't be dismissive of, coal mining, strip mining, what all they did. And Mahaska County was the coal mining county in the state. So, but it was, it had its long-term consequences for us.
There are reclamation efforts in process.
Yeah.
I think Rhonda can speak to it as much as I can.
Yeah, but when you look at that map, there's all sorts of places in Oskaloosa.
Right.
It's a little scary. I feel like my house is going to go down a sinkhole.
but we're not going to do that now.
Nope.
Roll call, please.
Holman? Yes.
Caliguri?
Yes.
Dross?
Yes.
Hermson?
Yes.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
Okay, that gets us to item I. This is to consider a resolution approving amendments to the agreement between Foxstrand and the City of Oskaloosa as far as professional services on the wastewater facility plan. So Fox has prepared Amendment 5, Task Order 7040.015 to the master agreement. This task order modifies the agreement by a total of $1,340,000. It includes $995,000 for 100% final design phase services and $345,000 for the bidding phase of it. Staff is noting that the city has an ongoing contract with McClure Engineering, and that provides a review of the current facility plan in order to provide value engineering and possible alternatives to the city for the project that they're currently anticipating to be fully completed in January. The city could choose to delay approval of the contract until that evaluation is complete to ensure that it is fully included in the design. If the council does choose to wait before approving the contract, it will result in delay to bidding and start of construction on the project, but those delays would probably not be enough to put the city out of compliance on our overall plan. So if the council approves this contract, staff would work with McClure and Strand to ensure that viable concepts to improve the design are communicated ahead of McClure's final report to council. Additional future task orders would be required to complete the construction oversight. Staff is recommending approving the amendment to the task order as presented. Do we have a motion of support on this?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
First, I want to say that we have a representative from Fox here, and just thank you for all the work that they're doing. They're doing a really good job. Secondly, I think the reason we went with McClure to get that information is to help us out. Just make sure we know this is a huge expense. Make sure that there aren't different ways of looking at things that we can lower some of those expenses. And I think it is reasonable to wait another couple months here just to get their opinion and then let the council decide what to do from there. So that's my recommendation.
Okay, so a point of clarification on the agenda. So we have the motion recommending approval of the amendment, and the amendment is to proceed to 100%. Is that correct?
That's how it reads currently, but I would recommend waiting.
Okay, so
voting against it.
So vote against it then. Okay. Okay. Other conversation?
And actually, I should say tabling it, because this can come up in a few months when we can just pick it back up. Tabling or postponing.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the amendment.
Can I withdraw myself?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay.
To table it.
Okay.
Or can I move to table it?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Tabling would probably be the better way.
I'll make a move to table it.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further conversation?
I think it makes sense. I mean, if we're going to sign the amendment tonight, then why did we do the order of work with McClure? So again, if it's not going to have significant impact on plans, I think again Lori's done a great job. Not saying anything against that, but we've gone through the work of getting the information to McClure and their work. So let's just see what it says, and then we can move forward.
We only have 6 weeks
I
left or
was
so.
going to say
It's
exactly
right
that.
around
Almost
the
6 weeks
corner.
away.
Yep. Okay. So the motion is to table.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Caliguri?
Yes.
Dross?
Yes.
Hermson?
Yes.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
Allman?
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item J. This is a resolution for levying special assessment against nuisance abatement at 813 South 12th Street. It has to do with private property abatement as outlined in the attachments. Certified notices sent to the property owner. Notice published in the Oskaloosa Herald. If approved, the property owner has 30 days from time of filing with the Mahaska County Treasurer to pay for the abatement at the city clerk's office. After 30 days, assessed to their property taxes with a payment schedule of 9% interest And this was an emergency abatement that was performed on August 26th of 2025. Does require a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to speak to this?
Oh, sorry.
Just a little background on this property. I was actually made aware of a grass complaint, mowing complaint at this property on the 22nd of August. We gave them a 3-day notice. We normally do. The front yard was immaculately mowed. They had not touched the backyard all year long. It was literally 8 feet tall in the back.
Oh, wow.
When we went back on the following, or on the 26th, after the more than 3-day notice that we give, we went ahead and ordered it mowed. But that same day when we were there looking to see if there was compliance on the south side of the house, you see the pile of garbage that was in the, on the south side, and that we talked about before. Emergency abatement was one that we did. I called the trash company up, and they were actually able to come out that day and take care of it. So I've been there a while. If you see in the, I don't know if you got, when you don't have any grass or anything under there, it had been there for a while.
Yeah.
So that was the one to get cleaned up.
Okay.
And I'll be on the weed assessment, obviously, too, moving forward. So.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.
So I'll close the public hearing at this time. Do we have a motion supporting this?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Drost,
Yes.
Hermsen,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Item K, this is a motion authorizing staff to issue payment for the acquisition of 2 new police vehicles. They are Dodge Durangos to replace the current vehicles scheduled for replacement. Stu Hansen is, let's see, vehicles arrived at Stu Hansen, have been upfitted by Sector for our use. They are scheduled replacement vehicles, but they were delivered and billed just after the deadline for regular monthly claims. Staff is recommending approval. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second?
Any discussion?
These are the ones we were just waiting on, right? Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Hermsen,
Yes.
Ibrahim,
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond,
Yes.
Calgery,
Yes.
Drost,
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Last item on the agenda is a monthly update on the YMCA natatorium completion.
It's all done, right?
More than
No
it
pressure,
was.
Joe. No
More
pressure.
than it was.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Yeah, so since our last meeting, as you can see by the pay app that you approved earlier tonight, there has been quite a bit of progress. So we'll just kind of go through some of this. Tried to capture the glass as the left-hand side is just kind of what it looked like after the painting. The right-hand side is the glass that has been installed at the time of the picture. I joked with them that I was going to make handprints on it so that I could make a better picture, but I didn't do that. I left them clean for now. We are having some discussions. I think the route we'll go is we actually will cover those just because as they work their way out of the competition pool up, there could be a case for a rock or something. But we're still discussing that. But nonetheless. Maybe the best 4 slides of the presentation here. Concrete pump truck is in, and you can kind of see the different pours. I would like to lay out in the top right-hand corner. So that's the first pour. That's the main drains, and then they have to do these pours in sections. So bottom left, you'll see there's a section kind of, and I apologize for kind of the buckets, but it is a construction site. But it's work they've done, and then you can kind of see in the bottom right-hand corner, a few days later, that section was poured. So I think it's worth noting here that this is Canco self-performing this work. They are the CMAR and are taking great pride in the self-performance of the pouring of the concrete. Also, you can see the walls starting to form. Again, those will be poured in sections, scheduled to go at 9:30 tomorrow for 2 of the sections. So
Great.
yeah.
And
this was just an area that was off of the pool storage room that SVPA was down for the architect
review on Thursday, and Kelsey with SVPA joked that she got to be the first to walk on that because you couldn't walk on that a while back. So just some more progress. There's a couple other rooms similar to that where there's been tile done, small things, but things that all add up. So.
Fantastic.
And then just so we know, there is progress, but with having to pour that in sections,
Right.
Those pours will take place until February. So that's going to be that'll be the Canco's main focus. On Friday when I was out there was Carly Nelson was doing work in addition to 4 subcontractors. So I mean, there's 5 different people working together and all making this thing go, and working in different sections. So yeah, then they'll continue to do the tile floor install, and then the most recent is they've moved up the timeline to finish the roof over the precast panel that I had mentioned was installed. So they'll continue to shore that thing up, and a small win and having all the roof drains that actually connect, so we don't have tiles running out of the side of the building. So all in all, progress. Again, I would just comment that Canco has been nothing but a first-class construction company to work with, and constant communication.
That's great.
That's awesome. So you mentioned the pool pourings are going to go through February. Each section, does it need to have some cure time?
Correct, and that's what
Okay.
takes a little bit of time to bounce around. So it's not quite a checkerboard, but that's what they call it. I mean, when I think of a checkerboard, it's more, but yes. So each section gets cure time, and that's why I was able to capture some of those pictures. So yeah.
Okay.
When I was at the Whiteford, go ahead, Lisa.
I was just gonna joke, and it's the acceptable slurry mix and all that. I mean, I've learned more about concrete in the last,
The slump?
You and I both.
Yes. It's fascinating as it is.
When I was out there last week for the advisory committee meeting, we walked through and had a chance to talk to one of the guys on site with Carly Nelson. And when we selected them, one of the reasons that I wanted them was they self-performed the pool installation construction at the YMCA in Washington with this exact same engineered plan. And just in that conversation, regardless of what you saw, just listening to them talk about it, as Stu mentioned, the staggering, the checkerboard effect, and you got to let it cure this long before you can join concrete. And it's just like, these guys know what they do know. They don't just say they know what they're doing. They do know what they're doing. I mean, it's I was impressed with it. So
Love the updates.
looks really good.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Stu.
you.
It is nice to see
It's
it.
really
I peeked in there when I was in there.
Yeah, you do need like a peeking window just to take some steam off the kettle.
Gets us to the end of the regular agenda. Comments from city staff. City manager.
Just one comment. Just want to thank our employees for all the good things that they're doing. There's a lot of positive going on right now. They are the ones that make this all happen. So just want to express appreciation.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. City clerk.
No, sir.
Okay. City attorney.
No.
Okay. Abu, how about you?
Nothing.
Okay. Rhonda?
No, thank you.
No, sir, thank you.
Boy. Janet?
Just a couple things. Want to make another shout out. Angie already spoke to the items earlier today, but having another challenge grant in our community is huge. I think we need to be blessed as a community on how much money is being put into the downtown from grants and that type of funding. And we're being looked at, and we have positive things going on, and we should be proud of those things that are happening. But also, holidays are around the corner, turning on the lights is this weekend, so make sure you go out, participate, and then right up the next week or two, you have the Lighted Christmas Parade, and I'm sure Angie needs support with the events, so if you're looking to volunteer for any of the events, please connect with the ladies at the chamber. They'd love to have you. And also, huge shout out to the staff here. I know Grant has been really busy helping getting the park ready, but also the streets. Guys are going to be busy with winter weather soon, and then our emergency responders. Appreciate everything that everybody does, so thank you.
Good. Joe, can you follow that?
She said a couple, but she went and did more than a couple. Yeah, I see there's a women's holiday luncheon. Is there a men's holiday luncheon?
Oh, you could start one.
Be my plus one.
All right.
I was going to take it, but not anymore.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Lisa?
Yes, I just want to congratulate Javin this year for being the new, maybe you get my spot next to Joe. Lucky you.
But you have to coordinate colors.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And congratulations to Andy, who is mysteriously absent, so I'm not sure what happened there. I did note in the newspaper there were 100 local government positions that nobody ran for in this state. Wow. 100. And it isn't for lack of interest oftentimes. It's very difficult, as you know, to run for local government. And there is often a backlash, sadly, in the modern world for trying to do the right thing. So anyway, so congrats, and we'll see how it goes. You'll maybe learn more about concrete.
And a lot more than that. But yeah, and anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, thank you.
And I would just finish up also in appreciation for everyone who participated in the most recent election. That elections are a blunt force tool. That you get in the voting booth and you either want them or you don't, but it does send a message. The collective of the people who care enough to go out and vote, and then for the candidate to see that there's that kind of support behind them. It's deeply meaningful, and it gets personal if you're a candidate. So deep appreciation for everyone who was part of that. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.